right.
What's up, everybody? This is Rodine. Welcome back to Culture Rupture. Yes, that's how we're calling this. And today we have Ben Rikert, Weird Rikert, here, known
That's
for not much at all yet, but soon,
I'm ve-
soon
I'm very
his
underground.
yeah, exactly. Soon, his games will definitely be shared around Reddit and Blue Sky and sites like that, I'm sure. Also, lots of drawings. Very dynamic, weird drawings, including girls with parasites in them. We'll get into that later, hopefully. Um, yeah, Reichert, so, Ricardo. How would you like to present yourself if I was like a business, if I was like an entrepreneur? How would you present yourself to me?
Oh, let's see. I'd say I'm an artist, musician, and game designer.
Oh, right, because you also do the piano synth thing. You also compose your own music for all of your games.
Yes, trying to.
Actually, no, Space. I can't even say his name nowadays. Evan Timmons did some music for your games, and now you do mostly yourself, right?
Yeah, I think what was happening was it. I love Evan's music, but I think it was just trying to figure out how to get the music I needed. Like, okay, I need a battle theme, but I just honestly I was very lazy and just waiting and asking. So I'm like, you know what? It'd probably just be easier if I do it myself. So I found FL Studio and just started teaching myself that over the course of a few months.
Okay, I see your point, but why not just press a button though?
Oh, you mean Suno?
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Why not
I mean
press a
that came,
button?
that came out years later though. So luckily I got my learning in before there was the easy mode. But honestly, making music with AI, it's not as interesting. It's good at making generic sounding stuff or pop, like modern. It's good at making modern music. Not good at
By the
making.
time you said that, I generated 12 symphonies. I'm sending
Oh,
them all to the Grammys and see what happens.
damn.
Anyway, yeah, so I think I've known you the longest, literally since friendswithminorities.com.
Yeah, I was about to say. It's like those were our friends with minority days.
Yeah, 2010, 11, Stuff Chan. For people who don't know, and okay, this is literally like lore right now, internet lore that I'm about to give off. That was like a private forum with Red Feather, Lyle McDouchebag, Spaz
Sp-
Kids,
Bromo.
Shadman, we have Bromo, who people I guess don't know that guy anymore. Axon
Uh,
the Navy, who was really promising, but then he just disappeared.
and then
And
Durax was someone named Durax in it as well.
yeah, and there was wait a second, there was some other guy
Who was
that
it?
then joined our group. Jesse Torres.
Oh,
Anyway,
yes.
um, Nerdbane.
Nerd. Yeah.
So to some people out there, all of these names are ringing something. Probably some more than others. But yeah, that was like a big coalition of where it closed, like the invitations closed very early, and I got to know Rikert and Amazing Larry there. And pretty much that's the genesis of everything.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, just a lot, kind of because Spazkid did a lot of the Sanity Not Included, and then further on early animation on YouTube. I don't know. I feel like that sign is kind of like an underbelly, unknown to the masses, but it spurred a lot of like. I mean, as I'm saying a lot, but it was very small. It spurred some unknown talent.
Yeah.
Uh, and one of them was you, right? You started just posting stuff in there, and it was like really crazy stuff. It was just like guys with big noses. It was I don't know. How would you
How
describe
would
your style?
I mean, that was definitely I think 17, 18. And for me, it was mostly just like shit posting art of just like, I don't know, what do I think is interesting? What do I think is stupid? And it's like, well, noses are funny, so I'll just draw a bunch of stupid nosed, big nosed characters.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But they were always, even early on, they were always very dynamic, I would say.
I tried to make it as best I could, but honestly, a lot of my learning didn't come in till 19. That was when I actually, it's like, okay, I gotta sit down and I gotta get art books and read through them. So,
Yeah, you
anything,
can't, you have to read your Bridgman and your Hogarth and all. You gotta read 30,000 art books before you can draw a single straight line.
yeah, honestly.
But I remember you reading Michael Hampton, and you immediately went through a lot of anatomy, like a lot of sketches. I remember you doing, and again, they were very dynamic. You always had some sort of preference for the less stiff, the less stiff the better. Like literally everything was like S curves and C curves everywhere.
Yeah, I think
Uh,
that came from reading forced, a dynamic force or something, forced anatomy.
what was that guy's name? Mateusz Mester?
Matt Matesi
Matt Matesi, is that it?
or
Is
Mike
that the guy?
Matesi?
Yeah,
Michael
yeah.
Matesi.
He's now doing a lot of that force drawing. He does it online on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
He teaches it online, I believe. Yeah, yeah. You were like the first guy I knew who was doing all of the force method.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about force. What is force? Like I read a little bit of it, but I forgot. What is it?
It's just directing vision with lines, so it's using curves but straight lines, curves, and S curves to just lead the eye. Like you, instead of making a shape, that's if you make an arm, it's that basic thing of like, oh, when you make the arm, don't make it like two straight lines. Make it a straight line and then a curved line going into a straight line, and then that's immediately more dynamic. Stuff
So
like that.
it's line of action type stuff.
Yeah, stuff like that. It's like putting line of action into everything.
Oh, so it's like so it doesn't do the Cycra lightning bolt method, right?
Oh, that I forgot Psychro. Kept meaning to look him up, but he was
The
helpful.
the lightning bolt method is like when you draw the arms as like little lightning bolts because
Oh,
you
stuff
can
like
better easily prepare.
I guess I just draw them in two curves.
Okay, you didn't do the lightning bolt technique, but you did use the coil technique. I remember a lot.
Oh, yes.
If I'm allowed just to show your sketches on screen, then people will understand. It was like a lot of coiling going on
Hmm.
the sketches.
I can definitely send you some of those later.
Yeah, you also drew really fast. Like you also made
Maybe?
drawing fast. No,
I don't.
you drew really fast. You made that like a priority,
Hmm.
I believe.
Yeah, I try to draw. I try to be quick, but it's like I just get stumbled. I just stumble on it's. I can draw fast when I know what it is I want to draw, but as soon as there's something I don't know how to draw very well, that creates an immediate like a roadblock. I'm like I grind up against.
You become Proco when he's trying to draw a kangaroo. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Proco. Oh, that guy.
Yeah, he draws
I haven't
like
seen the kangaroo one.
Sorry, because it's like a meme. Because obviously he's a great draftsman, knows everything about anatomy and shading and all of that.
Yeah.
But once he was asked to draw a thing that he didn't know how to from imagination, he just draws like the weirdest, like a funky fetus looking thing, and it
Oh.
just made me aware of like, okay, simply knowing the fundamentals isn't enough. Like
Yeah.
I think there is such a thing as study stagnation, where you're just studying, but it's not enough. You gotta get out and experiment on everything, really.
Mm-hmm.
Because,
That
yeah,
building
like-
that visual library in your
as
mind.
Feng Zhu would say. Yeah. And I think, yeah, you what you say is kind of true. You draw lots, like, I don't know, you draw a lot of monstrosities, weird creatures, weird stuff, but then, now I have to draw a flower. No!
Yeah.
Just like simple stuff. A cat, a house. No!
I'm trying to draw an umbrella, and that shit is messing me up.
Oh yeah, like a skirt also is really hard.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that's where style comes from.
Mm-hmm.
Like they say, limitation is the mother of invention, right?
I think so.
Or
No, it's not limitation. It's
scarcity.
necessity is the mother of invention. So I need to draw
Oh, so yeah,
this
limitation
umbrella.
breeds creativity.
There we
Limitation
go.
breeds creativity. That's what I meant. It's kind of the happy accidents, not the stuff. So yeah, like even if you have a harder time drawing an umbrella, specifically because you have a harder time, you go like, how can I bend it to my whims in this very specific way? And then, bam, you got a Rikert umbrella.
Well, I'm doing my best to try to refresh my fundamentals, but then I've been doing that for a few months, just drawing on paper, just like going back to like, okay, let me just go back to perspective, anatomy, but also do fashion, faces, hair, because I've been very bad with hair for a long time.
Did you put the fun back in fundamentals?
It was fun. It definitely was. And now that I haven't done it in a day or two, I feel like I forgot everything I've been doing over the past few months.
But yeah, it is sometimes fun to take a break and start doing things differently. Like sometimes I also feel to have a break from a lot of creation, to draw something from life is very refreshing and releasing, I feel. Anyway, you, if I am correct, never had art as a job, even though you've done like a few backgrounds here and there, and I don't know if you've done them again. But you never really stopped just drawing continuously, right?
Let's see. So I definitely had a phase earlier on when I was doing commissions, and that was fun. But it definitely got to that point where it's like, all right, I'm getting these things, and I really don't want to be. I don't want to be drawing other people's ideas or people's OCs. Sometimes they were cool, and I was like, yeah, I'll do that. But eventually, it it was almost like too much pressure for me to.
You don't like the social media dynamic of doing things also?
Yeah, it's just hard. It's like consistency has always been my most difficult like ability is putting consistency with something for like weeks on end because I'll usually
Yeah, I hate consistency. Jesus, it's my biggest enemy in life and everything. Jesus.
Yeah, and plus I think it's probably also just from like mental health and like autism, things like that, having that I often run into having a week or two of like not manic necessarily, but it's like high energy, like yeah, I'm getting like, hey, you know what, this makes sense, and stuff just flows easily, and then I'll have a month or two where it's like I can't make anything, or it's like I have
So
no
it's like a
motivation
lot
for
of ups and downs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I see. I completely understand that in a way because yeah, you gotta have a certain amount of consistency to post, or even in your style, even who you are, and you present yourself to be. And but you know, if you're on the spectrum, if you're someone inclined to in other certain ways, then there's a lot of breaking in and out, and that's not. It's very hard to mold yourself around like the dynamics that's asked from the Algore's rhythm.
Yeah, and it's like, seeing artists and other artists that are like consistent, or just, artists that do it every day and make all this stuff. I'm like, I don't understand how you just have this constant creativity without burning out.
Well, maybe they just have all the time in the world.
Yeah.
Maybe the rhythm is the same as Al Gore's. Maybe that's it. Maybe the rhythm is the same as Al Gore's. That's why they can go through the same motions and stay on the same end.
Maybe.
As for me, I just think, I don't know. I feel I'm meant to move at the speed of mind, not the speed of light, and it's very clear that social media and stuff moves at the speed of light, and I think it's kind of like the same to you in a way.
Yeah, I mean, so long as it's like, I think so long as you have some level of consistency, even if it's once a week, it's like, if you're doing that consistently, that eventually picks up
What
around.
what about the guy who makes like a big 2-hour video every single year and gets like 10 million views?
Hey, good for them.
Yes.
Though honestly, I think a lot. It's like really, because I've seen other YouTubers put like 3-hour videos out every year. Step up, come on.
Yeah, step up. Make 10 videos a day.
Come on,
Okay.
I can. It's like you think you can compete with these people making thousands of art pieces in 5 minutes? It's
Yeah.
like, come on, you gotta step
Yeah, you
up
gotta
a
press
little.
the button to get faster thing. More thing faster. Come on. Flood all the channels.
Yeah.
Anyway. Just make it so every time I look at my screen, it's impossible for the same thing. Like the amount of new images is the same as the refresh rate of my fucking screen.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, so that's a lot of
Basically, if you're not better than Midjourney, then what are you doing? Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, why are you not a robot? Why weren't you born a robot? Fuck you, kid. Go to the trash.
Yeah, if you can't be as fast as Midjourney, what do you do? Like, just stop.
Yeah, literally cut off your hands and go try and find Kim Jong-il's hands in the go try to find them and attach them to yours.
There we go.
So yeah, that's been 16 minutes so far about art, but you also do games
I do.
yourself. So how you started doing RPGs? Namely using RPG Maker. Like, I'll begin. I don't think I've ever known.
Okay, so the story to that, let's see. This was back when Super Best Friends were still doing Let's Plays, but they had one.
Jesus.
And there was a Let's Play they had. Probably my favorite one by them is the Charles Barkley Shut Up and Jam Gaiden playthrough.
Oh, that's a classic. No,
Yeah.
absolutely. I'm an RPG Maker guy, so I know some of the classics, even though I fell off.
Yeah, and even though that one, it started in RPG Maker, but they eventually moved over to Game Maker, but they still kept all the like RPG Maker aesthetics and functions, which was really funny. So after watching that, I'm like, I kind of want to learn how to do this in RPG Maker. It was just simple, so it was on sale on Steam, I think, like VX Ace, so I just played around with that. And it was definitely that period of just learning, like, what exactly, how does this work? Because I've never used the program like that before. So it was a lot of just, like, dozens and dozens of just really shitty, just basic RPGs using the in assets just to figure out how this stuff works.
You haven't yet touched the scripts.
Yeah. And then I don't know any coding, so like I was just trying to figure out like how can I make these in-game functions work the way I want them to. So after doing that for a little while, I eventually tried doing stuff making my own graphics, and that's where what was it called? The Quest for Ben came from. That was my first attempt doing like in my own graphics.
That was like a friend thing, right?
Yeah, very inside-y jokes, all that stuff. Yeah. It's like you actually play. I watched your video of you playing it, and it's like looking back on it, it was crazy. I was a little unfortunate because I never did any editing to it after the fact, but I was hoping you'd run into the Joe secret boss.
Oh no! Oh Jesus! Well, one day I'll interview Joe the Mint himself and ask him to fight the boss in real life.
There we go. So yeah, so that's kind of how I got started, and then from there, making that game. No, wait. Okay. After that game, I immediately jumped into it's like, okay, I've practiced enough. I'm gonna make my dream game, and that's where I spent 3 years working on Rent.
Hell yeah. It's funny that you mentioned, it started as a joke game, you started testing out all of the stock stuff. But I think it's, when you're just selecting the dialogue on the NPCs and you're like making an event, I think that's like a great introduction to programming actually. Because you're like trying out the stack, you're trying out variables, you're seeing sequences of events, you're thinking in computer time. So you're doing all of that stuff. And another thing is, I think RPG Maker, at least I started with 2003, I believe. Pretty much all the games that I finished or got close to finish were inside joke games. I think every since the inception, kind of like Mugen, everyone was more interested in crafting like all of these personal experience type games as opposed to I'm gonna make my epic. I'm gonna make my Chrono Trigger in RPG Maker. And I think that reflects upon it because like you just mentioned the Barkley game, it just every single famous RPG Maker game is never like the games that inspired the engine. It's always like Liza, it's always like an horror game, not even an RPG, right? And I think Rent is that. I think Rent is one of the funniest, most surreal type RPG maker games out there. Except that it's not out there; it's hidden. So
it's on my itch page. People can play it.
Okay, yeah, the demo. But it's not. Nobody knows about it. It's like the type of game you should send to like Nitro Rad or something, and they're like, "Yo, you should go back Rent. let's put this thing out there." So yeah, explain what Rent is and what went into it.
Oh, let's see. So I think the conception for Rent came from me just thinking. Like, I was playing a bunch of RPGs. Or, I was playing most RPGs, and this was probably during, maybe a little before the whole, like, I want to make something about something mundane, so paying your rent. But I think that kind of has become a lot more popular of just making mundane quests or in games. But but I made it about, like, okay, it's about paying your rent, and I don't know how I had the world building set up there. I just knew that, like, all right, you want to pay your rent, but there's this guy called Mr. Rich, and he basically owns the whole city. And it's like, in the game, in the demo, it's you're about to sign your lease on this new place for a fair price, and then you realize as you were signing it got bought out, so by Mr. Rich, and it's now like $1 billion. So the whole quest was like either pay your rent, and eventually you probably end up going to Mr. Rich and confronting him.
I think this game would do even better now because there's a lot of stocks on landlord hate right now. There's a lot of it could be like a a year defining game if it came out. But what you didn't mention is that there's like like you said, there's a lot of mini games that are based on the quests. There's a lot of a crescendo. There's like a narrative crescendo, even though it's very silly, where in the first level you go through the Roach's society and you defeat the Roach King. Then you get outside. And there's like this whole world, this whole city with corrupt police, and weird burger mascots, and there's like a whole ecosystem that you've created around this game that's really not only appealing, but it stands out even from other quirky RPGs. So it's like, I don't know. Are you? What's missing? What you want? What's missing from Rent to be finished, or for you wanting to finish it?
For me wanting to finish it, it's just the nature of making games solo. I still think about Rent. Like it's honestly it is like it's the thing I think about constantly, as far as like where eventually I want to go. Like all these things, I'm still making games, but mostly and art and stuff like that, music. But I keep that stuff to myself unless I'm like sharing it with you over Discord. I don't usually post much stuff, but it's like what I'm hoping, and it's really nice with this new RPG Maker. I can see it even more. Like it's so strange.
Are you gonna migrate? Can you migrate to the new engine?
No, I can't. I'd want to remake it anyways. Like going through Rent, it like the first one. That one is like I spent 3 years on it, and it was 3 years of just constantly learning. Like, how do I do? I want to do this mini game. How do I get that to work? And it's just hardcore, or just brute forcing like getting this mechanic to work in RPG Maker.
Damn. That's crazy.
Yeah, so it's like a lot of that stuff in that game. It's mostly tests. It's like the gambling house. It's like, how do you do a random number like gambling mechanic? Or how do you do a loot box mechanic?
Yeah, hell yeah, loot box in game. That's what
Yeah,
we're talking about.
yeah. How do you do like there's a couple in the sewer area. There's a couple like mini games of like how do you there's like five trash cans and you got someone pops out of one trash can but you got to track which trash can he's coming out and it does that like 12 times. It's figuring out how to do mini games like that. That was
Did I
a
play the sewer level? Was that in the demo?
yeah.
Damn, I don't think I went through the sewer level.
You did.
Or did I?
I
I
think
did?
you did. Yeah. It's pretty short lived. There's no much not much like set up for it. It's
I
because
remember really liking the Grisio Burgers
oh yes, that one was probably
mini
my
game.
yeah, that was probably my proudest, like just being able to hard code my own mini game with just using events and timers.
Yeah, so that's for people who don't know. RPG Maker is obviously meant to make RPGs. Every time you want to stay out of that lane and try something else, you kind of have to go through hell. Either someone wrote a script, or you're just gonna like have to put a gonna go into Ruby, or you're gonna have to stack events on top of events on top of events to do whatever you want. It's the further away you go from the program's restrictions, the harder it is for you to get it to work on different stuff.
But it is
Um,
possible. You just have to know how to sequence everything.
yeah, exactly. You did it. You did it on that game, and then you started doing on other games, like Punch It,
Mm-hmm.
Lucky Egg. Yeah, the gacha thing you did on Lucky Egg. I guess some other minigame you did on Punch It.
Yeah, Punch It was after. I definitely just last thing on Rent. It's like basically everything I learned from Rent, I was able like it made making my own mechanics so much easier after that. Any other game I went on to, it's like I know I can make it do this. I just need to figure out what sequence of events to use. So
So Rent is like the primordial soup
yeah,
from which the other games came out.
yeah, it helped me to just understand how to make my own stuff, and
Um,
everything after that was just experimentation.
I actually think I remember you making a version of Rent that was actually a roguelike.
Yes, that was me. Like, all right, trying Rent 2.0, where uh, honestly, like, and this is something I still want to use for it, is with the dungeons. I want to make it like Chain of Memories, sort of.
Oh, like Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories,
Yeah,
the
I want.
cards.
Yeah, I want to do that. Like, kind of mapping with.
Oh, I see. I see. Yeah, that is one of the most interesting aspects of that game. I see what you mean.
Yeah, it's like the at least my idea for it was or is going forward is like okay you get like random you go to the card shop to get random cards and those cards represent rooms you can use in the dungeon
Runes.
or rooms.
See, this is what I mean. It starts with Rent. The guy when he could pay rent goes through the cockroaches and goes through the sewers, and now he has to get runes. He has to
Root,
get runes.
not runes, rooms. Just like it affect like you can just use the cards to affect what rooms you get. So if you have a blank,
Oh, okay. Okay, that actually makes double sense in Rent. Oh, okay. In fact, he could fucking go to just like a giant apartment complex and he's
Yeah.
just affording you.
yeah.
Is that the point? Is that the whole point?
No, the whole point. It's I guess it's mostly just like, what do I want? What would I want from an
Okay.
RPG? And this is just a lot of these things. It's like from Rent, it's like it's everything I would want in an RPG. That dream game, but it's just playing around with the mechanics, seeing what like how can I make this dream into a mechanic?
Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And again, all of this eventually emerged into other games.
Yes.
Lucky Egg was the gacha. Punch It was kind of like what he started doing with some of the others, the sewer and the in the Grisio version.
Yeah,
actualized, and you can buy it on Steam. By the way, you guys can buy it Punch It Deluxe. I think. Can you?
I think so. I haven't checked it in a long time because I never make anything from it. But I think I think I made it free. Hopefully, if I didn't, I'm sorry.
I'm just gonna say, it's really funny.
Yeah.
Especially when you fight the final thing.
Yes.
It's really funny. Especially the soundtrack when you fight the final thing.
That was the soundtrack was by Evan.
Yeah.
So
That was Oh, and another game that spun out from Rent was Knights vs. Snails. Which is it available anywhere?
It's on
Like
itch.
on itch.
It's on itch.
Okay.
I just keep stuff on itch for right now. I want to do put more stuff on Steam, but I don't feel like paying $100 to upload stuff right now.
Oh, is that what you got to do on Steam?
Yeah, if you want to upload something to Steam, you just pay the $100, and
Jesus.
yeah, I mean it's not too bad. But,
Well, they still make money off your sales, so.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so you still have a cut.
Yeah, but going back to Punch It was definitely me kind of really stress testing what I could do with my own mechanics. So definitely after post Punch It, it's like, okay, if I think of a mechanic, I can make it.
Okay, I see.
One game.
Knights vs. Snails, you were more like testing out essentially the roguelike elements. It's more like a math game. Actually. You have to really look around and do arithmetic.
Yeah, it's that was me trying to play around with the stats. Like, okay, how do I make my own mechanics, but now also include like stats like health and strength?
Yeah, that's you made me think on what to do, and it was really easy because it was so fast in a way.
Mm-hmm.
It was fast to correct your own mistakes. But yeah, it always feels, at least this game so far, like it's part of a bigger game. And it's I think you said it's all going back to Rent, to where it became.
Yeah.
That's the point, right?
Yeah, it's like all this stuff is just like, all right, how do I understand these things? Like the what I'm currently doing now, the game I'm working on now, which is more of a vampire survivor sort of thing. It's like, okay, how do I make that? Like the rogue.
Oh, that's a moneymaker.
Yeah, but it's only on one screen, sort of thing,
Okay.
and it's like only involves like 2 buttons.
Jesus. Okay.
But it's like doing that. It's like, okay, I do enjoy roguelike. So how do I get these? How do I get like random events working? And that's like, because that's something. It's like, hey, I want to know that because when I eventually get around to making Rent, I want roguelike mechanics in it. I like making.
Damn.
I want to make the. I like kind of roguelike RPG hybrid type games.
Yeah, I love my roguelite, world simulator. What are all the buzzwords like? Harvest Moon type chill game.
Yeah. And farming. It's like, yeah, you want to farm.
Tower climbing,
tower defense,
open world.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's gonna be everything.
Put all of it in one game. All of it.
Also, Minecraft and extensive crafting.
Crafting. Yeah, resource management, like always having a backlog of 200,000 things to do at every time.
Something that with crafting, when I eventually I don't want to do anything like hyper intense, just basic. Like if you have these, then you can get this item. But you experienced it partially playing Rent. What I was playing with, but I never went any further with it, was the gambling house, where you can get loot cubes.
Loot cubes.
In that gambling place, there's like a guy, and he says,
I remember now.
But then,
yeah.
But when you go to the other side of the store, he'll drop down and come back on the other side wearing sunglasses, and it says like gamer on his shirt.
Yeah, I remember now.
The crafting mechanic was you would get loot cubes, and then like, well, what the fuck do I do with these? And then eventually you unlock the back of the store, and there he is again as a different person, and he says he can break down your loot cubes into craftable materials.
Okay.
But
so it's like both loot boxes and crafting.
Yeah.
You should do like the full circle.
I know.
You get loots to craft, and then you can get so you can get the special gacha money, so you can buy more loot. It's just the full circle.
Mm-hmm. Oh, one game we kind of skipped over was I have no bathroom in my shit.
Yeah. I was holding it in just like the guy was holding it in. I was holding it in just like the guy's holding it in that game. Because that game was like a little special because it went semi-viral at some point. There were like streamers playing it, I believe.
Yes, it got some streamer status from itch, probably because I just tagged it as horror.
Okay. So they're like looking for horror games and they find I have no bathroom and it was shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the trick I used.
That's a very stressful game. You have 1 minute to find the bathroom, and the closer you are, the more far. That's actually the way to make a roguelike, because it does make you feel the dread of, okay, I need the bathroom that's just horrible, but every time you memorize anything, you already have less time, and in your next run, it's randomized again.
Yeah, so
it lends itself. There's ludonarrative. What do they always say? There is ludonarrative harmony in this game.
Ah.
Yes.
Yeah. That was another game where I was just experimenting with randomization, so more roguelike mechanics. But
it's also really funny.
It is funny. I think it's probably the most like visually funny game to play because Sorry, obviously it's based. The title is a joke on the I have no mouth. But is the main guy meant to look like Patrick from SpongeBob? No, he was just a blobby character. I'm like, I just need like a blobby character, and he doesn't wear clothes, but he wears a tie, just so he has a little something going on with his design.
It's got a lot of different endings, that game. Ones that were closer to others.
It has variable endings, though I did advertise it as having 10 different endings, I should have replaced the 10 variable endings.
No, they're different endings.
Yeah, sometimes you get the ending where you have no toilet paper, but you can clean and unclog it. And some it's like you
just like the great decisions in life you make in this game.
Yeah.
So you can the toilet is not open. I love that one. Like you can't open it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of great ones. Yeah, that's a funny. Everyone should try out these games. They're on Weird Rikert's itch.io page. We'll provide the links in the description later. Yeah, so obviously when doing this, you're doing all of your own graphics, all of your own music.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing you can definitely notice is the pixel art. Because obviously you're drawing, right? You're not going pixel by pixel. But much like Clip Studio or Paint Tool side, there's a little secret binary brush pen. I don't know, I feel like you managed to find a way to translate your very dynamic style into those smaller pixel art drawings.
Yeah, and I actually do use... I can do pixel art. But I only usually use it for objects. I don't usually do it for characters. And I use Sprite for stuff like that. I have Sprite if I need to do anything. But I will do a lot of the drawing inside with the binary pen.
Do you animate with Sprite also?
I use the animation tool as well. Sometimes if it's very handy for like in some of the attack animations or things like that, where you punch the person or there's a bat. I'll use a sprite and animate it pixel art. That though I think with MZ, I'm gonna see if I can just do it with drawings, because those are a little easier for me. Is just drawing pixel art. It's too precise.
It is. That's kind of the whole thing. It's different than drawing. It's more like a mosaic that you have to consider every single little pixel.
But if I make,
but you did it well. Rent looks great the way it does.
Thanks.
I really think so. Especially with the choppy animations, they're really charming and funny.
Yeah, what was it? My favorite thing was the probably the best animation I liked was there's one of the alleyways. So one of the mechanics in Rent is like you can explore if you see an alleyway in the map, it doesn't indicate.
Oh yeah, I remember that. That's like one of the coolest things about that game is the alleyways.
Because you don't know, and I did this intentionally. Is the first alleyway you check is some guy, some big guy is beating up some crippled person.
Yes.
And if you fight him, you cannot beat him the first time you fight him, so you're guaranteed to die. But my favorite animation I did was probably with him when I had an animation for boosting your strength for a turn, and it's just you on screen. It shows a dumbbell just going up while you have this like really bit crisp voice for me going like but my favorite was the person you fight in that alleyway, because his animation it's the dumbbell lifting animation, but he just uses the guy he's beating up as a dumbbell. And,
yeah. And was that an actual attack he uses?
Yeah, there's also his attacks are also like he just throws this guy at you and beats you up, and then if you wait too long, he'll do a super attack, which is just a big combo. He's beating you with this person he's holding.
Well, that's the next level beat 'em up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like I said, you do all of your arts, all of your things for your game, pretty much 100%. Is there like any RPG that inspires you, or like RPG guy who makes games who inspires you?
As far as designer, like devs, I don't know if there really is. I guess the guy who did Lisa is...
Oh yeah, Dingaling?
Yeah, I don't know too much. I mean, I played Lisa, and I don't know too much of his other work, but just simply playing Lisa, it's like, oh, well, hey, this is what this guy can use this program excellently. So
I remember, if you go check his Steam page, I think he has like 20k hours on VXAs.
Oh, okay.
Logged on or something like that. So that's a lot.
I have a lot of hours though on RPG Maker for sure, but I think I'm offline most of those days, so it doesn't track it. And there are just days where I just left the program on. I was like, whoops.
Oh yeah, that happens.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Inflating.
Yeah, as far as my numbers, I think a lot of them are inflated.
But by moving to like a new RPG Maker version, you can afford to actually just do your drawings without having to go through the pixel art method, which is also like a great way to do things, because they've got a lot of charm. Like your drawings, I can't even freaking describe them. It's like you pick up a basic concept and then you just push it to the maximum. And make it as dynamic as possible. Like, I don't know, a guy opens up and it's a door, but it's actually a face. Then you have your whole series of parasite girls. And by that I mean girls with parasites, and the parasites take shape and they become something different. Or sometimes you have just like an abstract shape that grows arms and legs, and stuff like that. Again, all of them very dynamic. Clearly weird Rikert style. But yeah, I can completely see how your preclusivity to do all of these very, very different type of drawings that have a similar charm. How that like collects itself as a single universe for a game.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's always so fun in your games to see what I'm gonna find next. That's like, at least in my playthroughs, I always love the idea. Okay, if this is already so crazy right now, what is the next thing? Which I think RPGs do that. That's just a thing that they have in their DNA,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why your art lends itself so well to RPGs, even though it's not a very common art style for them.
Yeah, and I love 2D cartoonish kind of styles, but I try to keep it a little more like I try to give it a little more form so it doesn't become a flat object. Uh, but a lot of that, I do enjoy the visual aspect of games where, yeah, like you were saying, it's like, oh, what's going to happen next? And I always think about that. It's like, if someone's going to be doing this thing, I want to make sure that what they're seeing is either A, good, or either B, interesting.
Okay, you do have to kind of explain why you draw the parasite girl.
Oh, okay. What do I draw? Why do I draw them? It's because they're just like I like body horror kind of stuff, but honestly, a lot of the body horror I see, it's like, well, this is too graphic. This is like bloody and gory and stuff.
Yes, I love body horror, except all the body horror parts.
Yeah.
I love the body horror except all the
I know, so
blood
it's like,
and the gore.
instead of like the gore and blood and guts and things, like,
And-
wouldn't it
and
just be
all-
better?
everything that's just-
Wouldn't it just be better if just instead of all that coming out of them, it was just a bunch of smiley faces? Isn't that just better?
Yeah, and sometimes there's like a different smiley face in all of the smiling faces, so you actually have to look at all of them.
Yeah,
to find them.
some Easter eggs. It's like if you want, or not Easter eggs, but just like a little different. Like if you look really close at the details, you might find like a face that's off.
Yeah. I actually thought it was like a promotional thing because your icon online is normally like a smiling face.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought, if I draw a bunch of smiling faces, I can become the smiling face guy.
Yeah.
But then there's like other parasite girls that have like a bug or
Mhm.
the hair or a pizza or
And
just
a lot of
types of stuff.
yeah, and that stuff is I'm just trying to make it look interesting, and I don't want to be too graphic about it, but I want it to be graphic in its own weird way.
If I'm trying to describe, I think it's gory in the same way that Osmosis Jones is gory. It's okay, guys. It's
There we
yellow.
go. Yeah.
It's yellow. Exactly. Don't worry about it. It's PG-1.
Don't worry, it's not, the guts aren't red. They're like a nice blue with.
Exactly. He's not suffering. They're blue. Look at it.
Look at, they're smiling. How can they be how can they be in pain? So.
Yes, exactly. Just well. Yeah. So that's all a lot of cool stuff. But you like I said, your job has nothing to do with this. You're doing all of this at the, in the side, and it's like a weird question, but. Does anything about Windows influence your RPGs and
Yeah.
drawings?
So my job is I do exterior care on houses, and that includes like window cleaning, gutter cleaning, pressure washing, moss removal and treatment, things like that. Going into people's houses and just cleaning the windows and stuff in there. As far as how it affects me, my art, I don't think it has any effect. I haven't drawn any window cleaning stuff, but I have been using it at work. Like I do advertisements and stuff for my boss.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so it's like, hey, you need a window? I was working on some pressure washing graphics the other day at work where it's like, okay, well, I need to draw someone's
Worlds collide.
yeah, so it's like I am able to use it for work and things, and it is just normal things like houses, windows, roads, drawing equipment and things like that, and I like it. I like doing that too because I don't see advertisement have art that looks this colorful, things like that.
I think what really matters is that you're touching grass, or rather touching glass. Have you listened to Window Licker by Aphex Twin?
I haven't.
How does fighting Foodons affect your work?
Fighting food on. I mean, I didn't watch that. I only watched one episode, I think, of that growing up.
What? Why do you make me think that was like your favorite thing? You're always singing the theme song.
I'm singing it because it was so catchy.
Okay, I've been betrayed. Thank you for introducing me to JoJo, by the way.
Oh yeah, I had. Oh right, yeah. Well, it's become more popular. It's more of the mainstream.
But I remember it is mainstream now. But I remember when we were in that group, you were just all over JoJo, and it was still did not have the popular adaptations yet.
Yeah.
And you were just drawing. You were drawing like Hank Hill with a stand, like the propane stand and stuff like that.
That's.
I was like curious.
Yeah, that's probably my most famous work, honestly, as an artist online.
Oh yeah, that went viral. I forgot on Tumblr and stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
So
Damn.
that's my most famous piece. Is if anyone draws Hank Hill with a stand, they're usually basing it off of my design, which is cool. I like seeing stuff like that. So it's fun to have have an effect on the art world in some shape.
Well, what was the name of the stand?
I think everyone called it Propane Nightmare.
Okay.
But
no propane, as in pain.
But yeah, JoJo was an influence to me earlier on. I'm not too big of a JoJo fan now. I've kind of fallen out of that, but definitely, I think it was either during or maybe even a little before the first and second parts were animated.
Yeah, well, Battle Tendency is my favorite. I don't know which one is yours.
I think as far as style goes, I like part 4. I think the manga version, that probably has the most appealing style because it's like eventually Araki, it just looks like he just switched over making like them into cartoon characters. I think that's really funny.
Yeah.
But
there's a lot of secret Rikert sketches of like really funny stuff, like Angry Toguro Game Nerds.
Those are just you and me having conversations. I'm just
literally just magically appearing on like draw pile or something. So the idea is like Toguro from what was it, Yu Yu Hakusho?
Yeah.
But he's the angry video game nerd, so he's only giving the game 120% bullshit. I need to see if I can find it and post it here.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah. Would you buy a Grisio burger?
No, because that shit's $500.
No, yeah, I forgot. Yeah, well, I remember you finishing like a lot of sketchbooks. Do you still do a lot of that, like scribbling and doing by the bulk almost?
I almost finished it. I did finish a sketchbook back in October, but honestly, most of the sketchbooks I've ever done, they've been I'll draw one thing on a page and I'll be like, I really don't like looking at this, so instead of crossing out or filling up with other things, I'll skip to the next page. So
the sketchbook course, just never finishing. That's
yeah, but luckily I will say that this sketchbook, the last sketchbook I've been filling out every square inch of it with drawings, so I haven't been skipping it any pages in that. So I think I sent you a couple pictures of it at one point, but
yeah, you did. It looked really cool.
Yeah.
Especially like it when you mix it up, when people mix it up with like notebook stuff, and you have all of these sketches, but you also have all of these diagrams for, coding or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really like that.
Yeah, coding is definitely it's good for me to write it on paper first because it gives me a visual reference of all the variables I need to keep track of.
Yeah, paper is best. Paper is king.
Yes.
The pen knows the line. Have your hand in the line forever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I'm kind of just going lightning round now.
Okay.
Oh, thank you for introducing me to Leo Luster.
Oh
I
yeah.
literally had I literally had no and not another stand, Bluster stand, Leo Luster. Remember? I think you did that one.
Did I?
I think so. I think you did that.
I don't. Maybe.
Mandela effect.
It might be. I don't know if I did anything with Leo Luster other than drawing his, like, head one time.
Well, we can maybe find out later.
Okay.
But yeah, I had no idea of the DK64 show, and when you showed that to me, it just the songs never left my head.
I know.
And I curse you every day.
That's a good show.
Do you prefer shorter, more direct RPGs, like to play, over the long ones?
I definitely prefer the shorter ones these days.
Yeah, I understand.
One game that I've been using, and this is one of those games that I'll break it down and try and make my own version of the mechanics. Is Morrowind.
Morrowind.
Yeah.
Is that game short?
No, it's not. That's an example of a long one. So it's
Okay.
but that was a game I was playing probably a month or so ago. I was playing it again.
Oh yeah, you love Morrowind. You were always mentioning that.
Yeah, it's definitely my
Fast.
favorite of the longer RPGs could play because there's just so much you can do with it, and the setting is really cool. I love the enemies, the main antagonist, because it's this guy who's just making all his followers. If you stay with him long enough, it's like your head starts getting stuff starts growing out of your head, and replaces it. Or it's like you just look at the enemy and you realize, oh wait, his head is concave. He has no face.
What? Okay, I didn't know anything about this.
Oh, okay.
It's strange.
But
it's very strange.
yeah, but that's probably my favorite long form RPG. But as far as short term stuff, it's a lot of roguelike RPG hybrid type games. One I've been playing is Path of Acra, and one's fun because you're
Path of Acra. I need to find that.
It's fun. I can send you some screenshots to it later, but just
I find it later.
I like it because the person who made it, it's just a numbers game. It's like if you're into just stupid numbers and just seeing if this stuff will work, if you can become as overpowered as possible,
yeah.
it's a fun game for that, and it's very.
It's
colorful.
that game which kind of looks like old Ultima type stuff. Yeah. Okay. I see. But your Rent is will still be considered a short RPG, right?
I think so. How I'm looking at it.
Or mid stuff. What is a short RPG? Because RPGs are long, so shorts is 10 hours. People need to know. Short is 10 hours.
It's RPG. For me, it's an RPG. If I can get 6 hours out of it, it's hey, that's a good RPG. Good salt.
Yeah, absolutely.
Solid 6 with maybe 10 if you really just want to grind. Because I'm dumb and I'll stay in the first area and grind just so I can be over leveled for the next couple.
Oh, for the whole game?
Not the whole game, but it's in Kingdom Hearts, hey, no, I won't leave the island. I'm gonna grind up to level 15 and then I'll leave.
Okay.
I'm one of those people.
Damn. Well, since we're talking about games, what's the best game?
Ooh, the best game. I'd say, well, maybe I guess Elden Ring is pretty good.
Damn, I haven't played. I only played the Dark Souls. I haven't played Elden Ring. Elden Ring is pretty good. Okay. Have you done an animated video?
I used to do animation. When I was 15, and that was when the animation fever took over. And I'm I gotta learn how to animate.
I don't think I've ever seen one.
They're very old, and I don't know how I'd find them.
I mean, not even on the Newgrounds dump.
Yeah, not stuff like that. The profile. I mean, if you want to see the stuff I made when I was 15, like Mario eating a mushroom, classic.
Wow,
That was the,
Top
that was the first animation my friend and I made.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Did you ever help Stuff Chan, your friend who does stop motion?
The only thing I did for him were title cards.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, because you do a lot of drawing. I was wondering if you also have done animation. You obviously do it for your game, so I guess that counts in a way.
Yeah.
Is there any game that you made that I've missed, like we didn't talk about here?
Let's see. I have a digging game that I didn't finish.
Oh yeah, you mentioned that a long time ago,
And maybe
or maybe not so long.
maybe one of these days I'll just go back because all it's missing is I just need to put an end. I just need to finish up some programming and change the sound effects and just finish stuff up. It's
Okay.
basically the last 10% of it is just a bunch of bug fixes.
Oh, I see. Yeah, well, normally finishing is the hardest part.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you for introducing me to Mr. Meaty.
Mr. Me. Yeah.
Mr. Meaty. God damn it. Just all of these weird ass things. Comics. Do you have interested in making comics?
Comics?
Or have you made them? Have you made them at
Did,
any point?
did I ever make any comics? I don't think I did. I don't think that
Okay.
that's something I ever tried other than looking at, say, practicing, like recopying a manga page or something.
You should try making one comic and just see what it looks
I
like.
think so. I think that's artistically, I think that's something all artists should try to, because I'm sure I'll learn a lot doing one.
It is the best medium. It is the one thing AI cannot do. Is comics, and I'm not joking. It cannot freaking do a page.
Yes.
That's consistent. Another thing, paper or tablets, because you had like non-screen tablets for a long time. So which ones do you prefer, to draw on paper or to draw on the digital?
Paper's more fun for fleshing out ideas, but definitely if I want to do anything finished that looks good, I'll do it on. I prefer digital.
What about tradigital?
Traditional.
Tradigital.
I guess having a screen or tablet monitor is a bit of a good middle ground for that because I am physically.
Yeah.
So, but not. Paper's good for what I use for sketching out ideas. Because if I try to sketch out ideas on the computer, it takes me like 3 times as long.
Sometimes it's just many options of around. Would recreate canvas? Now what brush do I pick? Blah blah. Yeah, definitely paper is forever king when it comes to ideation. I feel.
Yeah. Plus, I can't Control Z on paper, and that kind of makes me have to think about it differently.
Some people have the syndrome of trying to press Control Z on a piece of paper. Did you know that?
I think I've only
It's
done that
crazy.
once where I'm like, oh, I better backspace. Like, oh, I can't.
Yeah, but yeah, like you said, paper is always best for ideation. What else? So we did this thing that never got finished. the Naruto.
Yes.
Yeah. The Naruto cartoon, which was actually gonna be a part of the collab with Doodle, Speedo, and CatFat. And neither me or CatFat finished. Mostly because it was freaking 6 minutes
I
long
know,
every time I look back at it.
Anytime I go back and watch it, I'm like, oh man, we could have cut this in half.
Yeah, because the whole idea is Rikert did the Naruto voice, and he helped me out with ideas for like jokes. And it really true, like all about ramen, like him sending Gara.
Yeah. The joke is Naruto likes ramen, and he uses that
And
to
that's
solve
it.
every problem.
I think if I uploaded that now, it would create a lot of bad things.
Would it?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. I have a bad. It's that cartoon gives me a bad omen. I actually uploaded the unfinished, like animatic, and then I had to go back and list it again.
Oh.
Yeah, but it's one of those things that have you ever? Because you did some work. I mean, just drawings and stuff for other people. I think you did for Otherworld. You did backgrounds. You did
Yeah.
Spaz Kids. What was
Sandy,
it? Power Trip.
Power Trip, Sandy not included. I've done some stuff there.
Oh, you did for Sanity Not Included also.
I did, yeah, but only backgrounds.
Okay. For Speedo.
The only thing for Speedo I think I've done is contribute a joke to the Yu-Gi-Oh video he did.
Wait, really? In Yu-Gi-Oh? What was
It was the Lake Zodia joke where he had
What?
that was something my friend.
Really? That was you?
I'm pretty sure because my friend and I kept talking about that, and while Sean was making that, I think I mentioned the joke. Maybe he had the same idea as well, which would be really funny.
Because I was gonna say, because I am Exodia in that cartoon. Like that's that's me. So again, we crossed completely in the way.
Yeah.
Paths crossed through fate.
I mean, if you want
the
best card in Yu-Gi-Oh, just have left legs of Exodia. And
Did you know some guy did a 3D model of that Exodia?
Yes.
So there's like a 3D model of my face somewhere. It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know. I don't have time to do like those crazy cartoons anymore. But I wonder if there's like one that you would like to do. Like one that you've done and you've never shown anyone, like a Flash or something.
Ah, boy, I'd have to.
An idea, storyboard.
Yeah, I'd have to think back on stuff I've done. There was a. Let's see. There was a little music video. Not a music video. It was like just taking a section from a song, and doing that. I forget what it was some like Macedon, I think, song. I just took a clip from.
Oh, Mastodon.
Yeah, I took a clip from one of their songs and then just animated it, talking about like. I think it was Macedon about like something about elephants, and I just put a bunch of elephants stampeding, and it says like they'll take back what was taken, and I have like a ringleader with like a bag of peanuts or something. His hand.
So it's not like a full music
No.
video. It's just a joke from the song.
Yeah. But that was.
Well,
I can't think of anything like new. I don't know if I've done anything new animation wise. But I think.
well, I did one that was let the bodies hit the floor, and then I just have a bunch of bodies hitting the floor.
Nice.
Is it that type of thing?
Yeah. Stuff like that. That was an old one. But I think the Naruto one was probably the last time I tried doing anything.
Yeah.
Animation wise.
The Nardo. We should have made that 6 minutes long. That's way too much.
I know.
But
But I think it is fun. But it is funny, I think.
it is pretty funny. Maybe one day. Maybe once there's no internet, I'll share it.
There you go.
Like the last bastion. Okay, what are like your plans for the future? Is it rent?
Let's see. As far as my plans right now, it's work my job. I try to get out of the field of doing the work. It's like, can't I just do advertisements and sales? Because I don't.
Oh yeah.
I'm getting pretty tired of working on ladders and things like that. But it does keep me active, which I will say is nice. But as far as using art on the side, it's a lot of it is practice, just doing stuff, just learning to do projects and finish them without posting them. I just want to have I have this whole folder. I just have it. It's called the content folder. That's like, hey,
The content.
yeah, it's like, hey, whenever I want to start just posting stuff regularly, I could just pull stuff from the content folder. So a lot of it
Damn.
that way I don't have to keep up with anything. And hey, if it's something, if I'm like a year behind as far as what I've actually made currently, then
But didn't you know, Rikert, there's a thing that you can do to schedule your posts in advance?
yes,
So you only have to do it once.
yeah, I like using features like that. But in the meantime, I'm just gonna be making games. Currently now I'm working on a simple. our friend Chris Gassler, aka Spinal Palm, he and we talk every week or so, just trying to do goals and things.
Mm-hmm.
And last time we talked, we had he had suggested that maybe doing jam games would be better. I want to do like game jams,
Game jams.
just to get the experience. But I think I'll just do those on my own time, like just do my own like game jams where like, hey, how quickly.
But then you don't have the 24-hour pressure. Then you gotta have the pressure.
I know. But it's like I'm learning. Like I don't have time for 24-hour game jams.
Yeah,
I have commitments. But I think
Well, like Bobby Shields said, it's better to have a regular job than a bad art job.
yeah. I can't imagine what artists are needing to do now, or how hard they need to sell out now.
It's pretty much the art just doesn't matter. What matters is that you have a YouTube where you make art. It's all about everything around art. Like the art itself doesn't really matter. I feel it's a performance.
Yeah, it's like how much attention can you get?
Yeah, like so I'm gonna teach you these new methods of drawing that you're doing wrong, and I'm gonna teach you right. And so this is how it starts, and it's just like building prophelicity kind of. Your profile. Anyway, I'm not into that. I went into art thinking of being like a behind the scenes type of guy. I want to be the freaking guys. Epic thumbnail time. I'm gonna teach you how to do the thing.
Maybe one day I'll become the epic YouTube artist.
Yeah, you have to diss on everyone. This artist is stealing and doing things wrong.
Ooh, yeah. I got a diss on all the artists I don't like. Be like, guys, you
can just do like a perfect simulacra of like of like pretending that you're doing that, but there's no one on the other end. It's just yourself.
Oh, there we go. Be like, guys, you've been drawing boobs wrong this whole time. And then my video shows that's like the best. Here's how you draw them, and then I don't draw them at all.
Can you just ask ChatGPT or whatever for the 100th catchiest thumbnails ever, and then just make a video around that very fast, and then you have like 10,000 subscribers in a week, and then 100,000 in a month, and then you immediately pivot. Okay, guys, actually, what I really wanted to do is I need to raise a fund to make a fundraiser for my Kickstarter project.
Ooh, yeah. And when I make a thumbnail, I gotta put a red ring somewhere.
Yeah, red ring normally on nothing. You need to say, we need to talk about the situation about the thing. It's crazy. The situation about the thing is crazy, normally. Speaking of that, FNAF or FNF? What's your favorite?
SNAF or FNF? What's SNAF?
FNAF, Five Nights at Freddy's.
Oh.
FNF, Friday Night
Okay.
Funkin'.
One annoys me and one grates on my ears. So I guess I'll go with Friday Night Funkin' because then I can just mute it.
Okay. At least there's that. What is the best YouTube poop?
Ooh, there's so many good ones. No.
I remember you knowing some cool ones.
Yeah,
like
I think if I had to guess, Sping Bill 2's Perverted Cyanide Adventure or something is pretty good.
What? Perverted Cyanide Adventure?
I'm probably getting them mixed up, but
because there's one that's like the joke event horizon. Yeah, that's one of the best ones. Yeah, maybe okay. And I need to find episode 2. There was also, please, do you remember the YouTube poop of like King of the Hill, and it's very serious.
Oh yeah.
His head explodes and then he walks back or something. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I think so. It's like the person editing that, like they tend to take out the audio, like the music. So it's just audio, and then they'll usually like reverb it, and then just it continues on to just walks into an empty room, and then all of a sudden he opens the door, and then it's like a stretched out version of like Bobby's head. Something like that.
Exactly. Yeah, YouTube poop will never die.
No, I love them. They're great.
Yeah, it's still, I really love shitty Buffalo nerds and stuff like that. Okay, real question. Is God analog or digital?
Ooh. I think God has moved into the digital age.
Damn, really? I think the devil is digital.
Ooh, that's
the digital
true.
devil saga.
Well, the God...
like Shin Megami Tensei.
Yeah. Well, I think the gods are of our own making, and most people make them out of data now, as opposed to gold.
I guess that is true. Damn. So we're the ones gonna be praising the ones and zeros, not the other way around.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay, so this is I think this is gonna be like a recurring question, but if Mr. Beast gave you $1 million, what would you do?
Are there any conditions to it?
Probably you probably would have to appear in one of his videos.
Damn. Well, you know what? $1 million is worth it. What would I do? I don't really need all that much, to be honest. So I'd probably just bankroll a bunch of projects and just like help friends out, honestly.
Oh yeah. Weren't you into crypto at that one time?
Yeah, I tried getting into crypto one time and it just didn't work out. So it's like, oh, all right. I was really excited though because I'm like, oh man, infinite money. Basically, I can help out all my friends.
But yeah, people normally are they just want to do their stuff.
I know.
It's like $1 million. Okay, I'm gonna do my stuff.
Yeah,
and that's
it's like people ask me, it's like, oh, what do you want? It's like I don't want anything. I want to do things. I want these projects to be done, but no one can help me no one other than me can get these done.
And and there's so many windows to clean also.
Yes.
There's so much glass to touch. Yeah, so I don't know. Where are you? How can people find you and your work right now? Obviously, we said itch, but other than that,
Let's see. Where am I? I think if you want to see a full body of my work, you can check out my profile on Newgrounds. I'm also on Twitter and Blue Sky, but I'm not active in any of those. I'm not really active in social media right now. But if you want to see my stuff, my Newgrounds profile is probably the best place to see everything.
If Rent releases like next year, where will you put it?
Definitely, I'd go for Steam on there.
Steam, okay. And people would know about it? Would you send copies?
Yeah,
copies?
My strategy is I'll make the game, and then like 6 months before, I'll just be advertising it as if it was something I was currently working on. Like,
yeah, send it to Markiplier.
There we go. Yeah. I'll send it to Markiplier, PewDiePie, Ninja.
I don't send it to Vinny's Vinesauce.
I think honestly, I do think that if I did make Ren, it's like, you know, I think Vinesauce would play it.
Yeah. It does seem like that type of thing. It's also very. It's got some Italian flair. I can't put a finger on it. It's got an Italian flair.
One game I was gonna make next after I'm done with the few I'm working on now, or trying to just, you know, game jam, get these things out if I can. I did want to make a pizza game, and I know if I do that, then definitely Vinesauce will play it. He has no choice.
Yeah, every single pizza game, they have to. He absolutely has to. So yeah, I think that's been us. That's been us in the Culture Rupture, CRP, Colrapod.
Well, hey, thanks for having me.
Interviewing all the underground artists that nobody knows about, but everyone will. And so this has been Rodin with Weird Rikert. Does Rikert want to say anything else?
Do art, but if you can, do as much of it offline as you can. It'll be better for your mental.
Don't do art. It will destroy
Yeah,
you.
if you think you can do art online, then you're on a path to destruction.
Yeah, exactly. You can spell fart without art, remember?
Oh yeah.
But you also can spell smart without art.
Mm.
So it's the tools inside of you. That's what matters. So yeah, that's been us in the Culture Pod. Guys, go check out Rikert on the descriptions. And yeah, maybe we'll all be paying our rent soon.